Hey, it's Monday again. I feel like the last week just went like that. I don't know if you guys have experienced the same. And Mondays for me are without a doubt my busiest day of the week. I love them. It's my favourite day of the week. It's the day that I touch base with all of my clients and look at how they're progressing, the things they're struggling with, and it's the day that I touch base with all of my team to talk about how we can help the clients progress better and thrash ideas around, and it's always a really, really full-on day, but incredible. Always my favourite day. And this morning, listen to this morning I got my residencia, which is my green card, if you like, to, if I want to, live in Spain. And we all know I'm a little bit of a gypsy at heart. I don't want to be in one place for too long because that's no fun. I love to travel, I love to see the world. And you know, I'd say that's been one of my biggest drivers actually in succeeding, was that I just wanted to live an extraordinary life on my terms, where I could say, right, how's about Bali tomorrow, and just go. So as much as I have this green card that says I can be in one place for longer than 5 minutes, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be. But do you know, it's just really nice to know that I've got it, because those of you that are English will know that freaking Brexit is making it embarrassing to be British at the moment. And we're all panicking, thinking, will we just get turfed out of Europe at some point because we're English? So I just have to get that to secure that, you know, the fact that I can stay here. So this morning I went through that process, third time lucky, because the first two, they turned me away and said I couldn't have one. So celebrating that today. Hi everybody, I haven't been saying hello to everybody as your names have been popping up so far. I'm really sorry because I was too busy nattering away. So as you get logged in tonight, let me know that you're here, giving me a hashtag live if you're watching me live tonight. If you're watching on replay, give me a hashtag replay. If you're a newbie and you've never caught an episode of Soul Centered Millionaire before, then give me a hashtag newbie so I can say hi and welcome you to the live series. So every week, same time, every Monday, except for when I'm away on vacation or holiday, depending on where you're from. I always come here live to share with you how I created a $1 million business, a millionaire lifestyle, by combining two key things. Strategy, so I serve up some no bullshit strategy here every week, but also source connection, the woo-woo stuff, alignment, tapping into our spiritual self to reach our full potential, because both of those things in equal measures have really played such a big part in my success, and I would really say they've gone hand in hand. Tonight is about no bullshit strategy and some things to consider if you are a coach, a trainer, a mentor. You know, if you're someone that's offering a service of, you know, the exchange of information, or you're in the area of self-improvement, self-development, this is for you tonight. And obviously, I don't just work with coaches, trainers. I work with all sorts of female entrepreneurs from all sorts of backgrounds, building all sorts of businesses. But obviously, I get approached a lot by coaches, because from setting up my coaching business from scratch, I generated $1 million through that coaching business in the first year. And I tell that story a lot and talk about my journey in that first year and beyond that, the struggles, the achievements, that, you know, what it really took. So because I share that a lot, I obviously attract a lot of people that are in running similar businesses and have the same goal or similar goals to me. And so I attract a lot of coaches asking questions, and I love that because obviously I know exactly how to help you. But I wanted to just centre this training tonight around you guys in particular, because I never do that. I never do, you know, coaching specific trainings, or because everything that I really teach in terms of strategy and mindset and source connection can be applied to pretty much any business that's being developed online. But, you know, because we're in an age now, aren't we, where it's never been easier, really. I mean, it's never been easier. It's never been more exciting to be an entrepreneur. It's never been more exciting to be freaking alive. But we're in the information age. We're in the age of being able to exchange information for money online. And millennial millionaires, there's a mouthful, millennial millionaires are being created every day through tapping into the economic age that we're in, the information age, recognising what they know that's valuable, that they can exchange for money and help somebody in the process. It's the age we're living in. So of course, there's lots of coaches, trainers, teachers, people exchanging information. And it's dead exciting. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. So this training is specifically for people that are either already a coach, trainer, etc. I'm going to stop saying coach, trainer, etc. and just say coach, but you know what I mean. You might identify with mentor, in fact, I identify with a few different titles. Let's talk about that for 1 minute before I jump into the 3 things I want to share with you. I identify with that quite a bit, with a few things quite a bit, because I wouldn't put myself in one of those boxes necessarily. Sometimes I use coaching techniques to help people develop independence so that when they finish working with me, they feel confident in their own ability to go on and achieve. Sometimes I'll adopt a mentorship role where I will tell people the answer, give them guidance and advice based on my own experience. And sometimes I'll teach strategy because it's specific how-to type things that I'm sharing, that, it doesn't matter how much I ask you the questions, you're not going to know the answer because you don't know what you don't know. And we don't know what we don't know, do we? So I'll adopt all 3 of those things, and you might be similar as well. But this is going to apply to you regardless of whether you fit into any of those categories. So starting out, what I'd love to know is, what do you identify with in your role right now? Do you call yourself a coach, trainer? Comment below and let's share, because there might be somebody actually that's watching this now that sees your comment that goes, oh, that's what I'm looking for right now. So use this opportunity now to comment below and share who you are, what you do, and who you help. And be really specific about who you are, what you do, and who you help when you share it, because there might just be somebody that is looking for someone just like you. Okay, so I want to share 3 things with you. My 3, I guess, key pieces of advice that made the biggest difference for me, that isn't all, not always talked about, when I look back, I think actually these are the 3 things that were standout-ish for me, that made the difference in, a bit of success, mediocre success, and like huge success. These 3 things played a massive part. Number 1, I'm a life purpose coach. Amazing, Jen. Tell us more. Tell us what that means in terms of what do you help people with specifically? How do you help them? What can they expect from working with you? Because it fascinates me, and I know that, the more specific you are, the more chance there is someone that's going to resonate. So, number 1, don't specialise in philosophy. Now, this is probably going to be something that, this is going to be something that's, for some people, controversial, but don't specialise in something that for you is philosophy only. Because what that's going to do is damage your confidence in the process of teaching that philosophy or helping someone through that philosophy. Here's what I mean. There are far too many people out there at the moment that aren't recognising their own brilliance, that aren't taking enough time to pinpoint the skill set, the zone of genius, the thing that they do well. And all they're thinking about is, how can I make some money really quickly? That doesn't make anybody bad, by the way. But it's coming from a different place, and it has a different energy, and therefore it brings a different result. So for example, I don't teach anything that I don't know works. And when I say no, I mean, I don't teach anything that I just have been able to read and understand. I teach things that I've understood, applied, executed, got wrong, fell on my arse up, mastered, got back up, got it wrong again, got the scars to prove it, and then arrived at a place where I really get it and I know the pitfalls of implementing it and can help somebody else to do that. If you can't say that, then it's philosophy. And if we teach philosophy, we never feel 100% confident in our ability. We get knocked and taken back really, really easily. Our confidence gets knocked easily. Our belief gets shattered really, really easily. And we incur problems in supporting someone through the process of change using our service. There are so many people out there right now that are, for example, buying a program, a course that, say, teaches you how to do X, Y, Z to get X, Y, Z result. And they're taking that information, learning it, reading it, understanding it, listening to it, and then regurgitating it as their own service. The ethics of that is questionable anyway, but it's not about that. It's about how that person then feels when someone that they're teaching, coaching, training comes to them and says, this isn't working for me and I don't know why. Because they haven't tried it, executed it, got it wrong, had to rework it. So you don't fully understand the pitfalls of executing it. Therefore, you can't really find someone when they get lost. You don't know how to find them because you've never been lost. And it makes a massive difference in your ability to help someone. Huge. And nobody needs to do it. Nobody needs to do that because everybody has enough information, knowledge, experience on something, a certain subject area, to not have to teach philosophy, but to make the time to really dig deep, identify that niche, stick with it, and stick with it again and again and again and again until we develop an audience that wants to tap into what we're really good at teaching. Because otherwise you don't hold people accountable with conviction in achieving the things that you know they can achieve with your service. You don't, because it's questionable. When you can achieve the things that you know you're capable of with your service, and you've helped other people achieve things, then it's a proven, tested system for success. Because you've been through it, had X, Y result. X amount of people have been through it with you and had X result. Therefore, you know with confidence and conviction that this works. That makes a big difference in your ability to hold someone accountable for getting results. Because when that's the case, you know that it's the person that's the difference. You know, because let's face it, people struggle. Of course they do. Everybody struggles. If you're going to get 100 people together in a group, a percentage of them are going to be real high achievers. A percentage of them are going to, be somewhere in the middle, and a percentage of them are going to struggle intensely. But if you know that what you teach and how you guide people is a proven system for success that you've had results with, other people have had results with, then you can hold people accountable to be amazing. You can hold people to get accountable to get the results that you know that they can get, and be the person that can do that. But if you don't, and it's just philosophy and it's just regurgitated information, you'll always question, can I do this? Can they do this? Can anyone do this? I don't know. Maybe the person I learned it from made it up. I'm not saying you've got to invent the stuff that you help people with. Nobody invents it. I haven't invented awesome social media visibility. I haven't invented Facebook advertising or sales funnels. I've invented none of those things. But I've learnt how to use them effectively, applied them, executed it, got it wrong, fell on my arse, got it wrong again, gone through the whole process of mastering it. So when I see someone go through it and I see them spitting, whining, moaning because it's not going right for them, and I can see where the mindset needs to change, I can see where the activity needs to change. I can see where they're just not being patient enough. I can see where they're adopting victim mode, or I can see it because I've been through it and I've seen other people go through it. And this is where you need to be with your service for you to really have confidence in it. If you don't, it will affect the way you sell it as a starting point. You'll find that you won't get people buying it because you're not really showing up with the conviction that I can really change your life with this. But it will also show up when you do get clients, if you get clients, in the fact that you don't feel 100% certain that you can help them. So when they have challenges, you might not really understand how to help them. And then they suffer, you suffer. So you can get this right from day one by just really identifying your zone of genius. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't adapt your zone of genius to suit a different type of person. So, for example, you might be someone that, I'm trying to think of an example without using somebody specifically. You might be somebody that knows what it's like to build a business because you've been doing that, but you've never been a certain type of business owner, but your service can adapt to that business owner quite easily because it's the same process they're going to need to adopt to get to where they want to go, for example. That's okay. You haven't got to be specifically trained in every, skills can be transferred, can't they, for different people for different reasons, and that's okay. But what I'm saying is it's a little bit like saying, I've read the recipe to make these brownies and now I've read it, I know how to make brownies. Well, you don't. You don't really know how to make delicious, the best brownies until you've read the recipe, mixed the egg, beat the egg, got it in the oven, burnt yourself while they've been coming out the oven, tasted them and they're like shit, then started from scratch, got it wrong 3 or 4 times and then come out with the best tasting brownies. Now you know how to bake brownies. And this is exactly the same. So that's number 1. Don't specialise in philosophy. You will get your fingers burnt in the worst possible way. Number 2, get a coach. If you're a coach, get a coach and show up how you want your clients to show up for you. Now, what I'm not saying is that if you're a coach, you should always have a coach or else you're a fraud. I don't believe that. I actually worked with a business coach that believed that. She believed that you always had to be learning from somebody, from a coach, to get to the next level. Constantly, you should have a coach. And if you don't, then you're not progressing. I don't believe that. I believe we should have a strong intention for working with somebody. We should know exactly what we want to get from that relationship, and we should keep that objective in mind at all times. And then when that relationship comes to an end, naturally, because it's the end of the program or the end of the duration, you then take stock on what I've learned, where I am, where I need to go next, and what's the best way for me to get there. Doesn't mean you've got to bounce from one coach to the next, just all in the name of having a coach because I'm a bad person if I don't and I'm never going to progress, because that's bullshit. Some coaches will have you think that because they're coaches and they want everyone to think that everybody should have a coach. I think it's bullshit. And that's just my opinion. I think there should be a really strong intention. But if you're a coach that's never had a coach, or you're struggling right now, or you're up leveling, work with a coach and be really specific about why you're working with them and what you want to take from that relationship and what's not relevant. Now, I say this to you because how you show up in that relationship will be how people show up for you. Because we get what we are, and this is a little bit where we're more about energy. We get what we put out there. We attract who we are. So, how you show up for that relationship is absolutely going to show up for you in your clients. It works both ways. So you want to really think about that in terms of, everything. But, look at what it is you want specifically, and then focusing on learning from that person how to get it. Because your coach, in my opinion, should be someone that has exactly what it is that you're looking to achieve. If they don't, then they're not going to be able to teach you anything other than philosophy. And that's, point number one, if you're not going to be teaching philosophy because you realise that's a bad idea, you don't want to be working with someone that's teaching philosophy. You want to be working with someone that's been in the arena that you're fighting in, for way more levels than you already, got their ass handed to them a few times, got up, dust herself off, and knows how to win and break through those challenges. Because, you know, when I'm looking at, for example, my next level of success now, I know where that is for me. I'm really specific about that. I know that I can no longer operate, I can't go to the next level of success without growing my team, expanding my team, developing leadership from a team point of view. I can't do that. You know, I need to be working with someone now that knows how to go from 1 to 2 million a year profit to 10, because that's my next level of success. And if I work with someone that's not achieved that, then they can't they don't know they're limited. But I don't, you know, because you don't know what you don't know. And you don't know the pitfalls of something until you've fallen into them. And this is what I'm saying about, you know, working with a coach that with a really strong intention, but also having total trust when you do that in that relationship, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know the pitfalls because you haven't fallen into them. And I know that when I've worked with coaches previously that have been helping me get to the next level, some things they've said to me, some things I've observed in them at the time haven't landed, because I'm not quite there yet in my own growth. They say when the student's ready, the teacher appears. It doesn't matter how much the teacher shows up if the student's not ready. And I've been there where I've been limited and I've not understood, I've ignored advice, and then it's not been for a while later that I've looked back and gone, now I get it. Because I'm ready to receive that information. I'm now at that level. If you're not fighting in that arena yet, some of the information might not be relevant, but be open to everything and take everything knowing that right now I'm limited in comparison to this person. So I really need to absorb everything with an open mind and trust. But equally, I need to have a really strong objective and be really clear about what I want to take. Because you're not going to take everything from one person. You know, you've got to be specific. Like, you might be working with a coach that has the exact type business that you want, but they don't have the relationship that you want. They're single and you're in a really happy marriage. So you're not, what you can't do is go, oh yeah, but because you're single, you have way more time to work on your business, and because of that, you know, I want more time with my husband and she's never going to understand that, therefore we're not a match. Bullshit. That's you creating excuses. You're not there to get relationship coaching. It's not relevant. You're there to understand what sort of mindset and execution of strategy did it take for you to get where you are, and what am I missing? Where can I spot it? So that's point 2. Point 3, don't ever take it personally as a coach. Don't ever take it personally when a client lashes out at you. Now, you are the person, when you take on the privilege of helping somebody in some way solve a problem that they are having, whether you're a mindset coach helping someone solve a mindset problem, whether you're a business coach helping strategy, whether you're a life coach or relationship coach helping someone find their soulmate, people struggle with change intensely. Hands up if you've ever struggled with change intensely. Give me some hearts if you've ever really, really struggled. And hands up, keep your hands up by giving me some hearts if in those moments of struggle you've really, really wanted to just resist what you know you need. I have shied away from something that you know you've got to do. I have wanted to get angry at someone or something because things aren't just fucking working out how I need them to right now. I have feeling pissed off that someone won't do it for you, provide you with the answer, or hasn't waved the magic wand that you really fucking hope they had. I've been that person. If we're really honest with ourselves, we've probably all been that person at some point. just know that when people vent that in your direction, it's never about you. It's never ever about you. It's always about where they're at. And you get the privilege of having that directed at you as a coach. I'm not saying it's okay to be someone's punch bag. We need boundaries for sure. And when enough's enough, you've got to be strong to say enough's enough. But at the same time, what we can't do is allow it to become personal, because the second we make it about us as the coach, we've just lost the ability to really help that person, because we're coming at it with a different agenda. We're coming at it from a different place that makes us all of a sudden limited in helping. You know, your job as a coach in whatever you help the change with is stepping up, rising above that and helping someone to take responsibility for their own change. And sometimes that means being strong and holding them accountable, highlighting what's not okay, highlighting where something needs to change for them, highlighting where they might be limited, but never ever allowing it to become personal or become about you. So it's about stepping back when someone comes at you with anger, with frustration, with blame, and saying, okay, what might be causing this in that person? Stepping into their shoes for a moment and asking ourselves, what's going on for them to show up in this way? Where are they limited right now, and what can I do to help move them out of that resistance and into a better place where they can progress? Because stepping into their shoes for a moment helps you to understand from their perspective what it is. That was me last week. Sorry, Michelle. I love you too, Amber. You don't have to apologise. And I don't think you were that bad anyway. I've had worse, Amber. I've had worse. But, you know, being able to step into someone's shoes and just see it from their world, or even remember, and this is the thing that I was going on about point 1 with don't teach philosophy, is that if you've been there, and you might not experience it at the same time because we're all different with our own different filters and experience, but if you've been there, you can step into their shoes and go, okay, and that was a really shit time for me too. I remember how that felt. I'll give you an example, and this is me being really vulnerable and honest with you right now. I know that in my 12-month mentorship program, and you guys can agree with me if you're on, I know some of you are on there in the program, there's this period of time where, you know, you come into the program, it's all exciting and you know, you're full of just, you know, the joys of spring and everything's gonna, and then you hit marketing, lead generation, and it's like, oh, fuck, how did this get so intense so quick, and everything ramps up in intensity? It's difficult. Building a business is just hard, guys. Come on, of course it is, or else everybody would be a millionaire. It's shit at times. That's why you get paid the big bucks when you come through it. It doesn't come easy. When it comes to lead generation, it's the lifeblood of anybody's business. No leads, no money. Simple as that. No leads, no impact. You don't get to help anybody. Crystal, yes, fuck, remember that step. Yeah. You get to lead generation and there's a lot of moving components and it's tough, and it's why people don't succeed. I believe it's one of the biggest reasons people don't succeed in business, because they don't quite master that lead generation. So they don't quite have that lifeblood running through their business of clients coming to them with ease. And they get frustrated and they start to question themselves. Maybe what I'm doing is shit. Maybe I'm shit. Maybe I'll never master this. Maybe it's the economy. Maybe it's me. I've got some voodoo shit on me. We'll come up with all sorts of reasons why we just haven't mastered it yet. It's as simple as that. But in that moment of struggle, emotion comes up. We get emotional. We don't think strategically. And it gets hard. Now, I know that. And I know that because I see it as a pattern, obviously, with all the women that I've worked with. But I know it from my own personal journey. I can remember that first time in launching. And I can remember up until that point, it was quite fun. I was branding myself. I was putting together my offer and working out who I was going to help and how I was going to help them. And then, bam, my fucking funnels aren't converting. And Facebook ads just malfunctioning and they're not bringing in any leads. And this is happening and that's happening and shit. And I got really frustrated because I was like, I wanted it now. I wanted to just be able to launch my ads, my first funnel to just fly and convert like a pro. I wanted all of those things, and why not me? And why the fuck is this happening to me, and whose fault is it, first of all? Because it certainly isn't mine, because I've done everything. That was me, hands up. So I get it, like I really get it. And when I see it in people, there's no part of me that goes, shit, they're angry with me because I'm not teaching them the right things. I go, And as much as I don't want you to struggle, and I'm not sadistic in seeing your pain, there's a part of me that's like, I remember, I know. And I can step into their shoes and go, yeah, that was freaking painful. I remember the pain, and I remember when, you know, I just wanted to throw the towel in. So then I'm able to step into a space with that person of understanding, but also going, come on, now this is why you're going to get paid the big bucks, you know, when you come through it. And don't enter into any sort of challenge until you're in that place. Because the second you make it personal, the second you take it personal, you've really moved out of a space of being able to support somebody as a coach. So do what you need to do to get yourself into a resourceful state to make sure you can move into that space. And they're the three things that will see you absolutely win as a coach and give you the edge, because honestly guys, like, it's a lot of, you know, it's things that a lot of people really struggle with, and if someone doesn't talk about it, then how do you know? When they come up for you, there can be a shock. So let's just reiterate. Now I'm shitting it about getting to marketing. Rachel, you'll be fine, it's really not that bad. Really. It isn't that bad. When you know it, you know it, honestly. Like, when you know it, you know it. When you put that marketing strategy that works, it's worth its weight in gold, and it's worth the wait, and it's worth the pain, because that's it then. It's just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And no matter what you do for the rest of your life, or no matter what you're selling, you know what to do. You know how to generate leads. It's the lifeblood. So 3 things. Don't specialise in philosophy. It'll knock your confidence and reduce your impact. Get a coach and show up how you want people to show up for you, because energetically what you put out there you get back. Don't take it personal when people come at you with struggle and blame in a way that might even be aggressive. It's never about you, it's always about them. Get yourself out of that feeling it's personal before you even attempt to help them. Know that it's your job to rise above that and hold people accountable for the amazing people and entrepreneurs, or amazing relationships you know they can have, or amazing mindsets you know they can have, or whatever it is that you are helping people with. And ultimately, guys, you coaches out there, don't stop doing what you're doing, because the moment you stop, that ripple effect that you'll never really know the impact it could have. And I always think of that pebble in the sea or river or lake or whatever, and how that ripples on in ways that you could never ever imagine. We're intricately entangled, everybody on the planet, I believe that. I say you're like a few handshakes away from the president. That shows you how entangled we all are. When you choose to step up and offer a service that helps somebody else as a coach, trainer, mentor, you create a ripple effect that will go so far you'll probably never see where it ends. The second you quit, you reduce that impact. You put an end to that impact. And who knows what it can create and how it can change the world in some way. Your life in the process, doing the work that you love. It's worth it. It's hard sometimes, but it's worth it. The best job in the world. And I have got your back. If you ever need me and want my support in making this happen for yourself, get in contact. Thank you for listening, guys. Love you all. Have an awesome evening.